The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Todd McShay has a new mock draft that's out there, and what he wrote about the Jets absolutely terrifies me when we get the draft night, which is 1 month away. We'll talk about that and more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go. Here on a Monday, it is the start of a brand new week. Smash that like button. More importantly, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Today is a great day to get your ticket to our first ever ASMANIAC draft party. We'll be at Clinton Hall in New York City 1 month from today, April 24th at 7 p.m. The party starts. You get your ticket. It includes a free drink plus an entry into our ASMANIAC raffle that night. That will feature a bunch of great prizes, including a signed Sauce Gardner jersey, signed Joe Klecko jersey, signed Nick Mangold jersey, signed Jermaine Johnson jersey, and a bunch of other items as well. So come hang out with a bunch of great ASMANIACs. Gorman, V-Man, Bobby Midnight, they're all going to be there, and it's going to be an absolute blast doing the show from Clinton Hall and interacting with all of you. If you want your ticket, space is limited. Click the link in the description and get it today. Let's talk about what Todd McShay posted in his Ringer mock draft. Actually, I believe this was just a part of McShay's newsletter, which I really recommend if you're super into the draft this time of year. I'm just going to skip right to the Jet pick, and then we'll talk about some of the other picks here because I do think it is interesting to see how McShay sees the top of the draft playing out. At number, hold on, there it is. At number 7, according to Todd McShay, the Jets will take Armin Menbu, the offensive tackle from Missouri. What he wrote, though, has me a little concerned, and it has nothing to do with Menbu. He writes, quote, "It's tough to pass on tight end Tyler Warren here, but I think that Menbu would be more important for new quarterback Justin Fields. The Jets already have one of the most talented running back rooms in the league with Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, and Isaiah Davis. Add Fields' running ability to the mix, and the Jets can lean heavily on their dynamic, punishing, rushing attack so long as the offensive line is up to task. At 332 pounds, Menbu is a big, sturdy run defender and has highly impressive movement skills on tape, which were confirmed when he ran the second fastest 40, 4.91, by an offensive lineman at this year's Combine. And he just turns 21 years old later this month, so his best football is still in front of him. In conjunction with former first-round picks Elijah Vera Tucker and Olu Fashanu, he could help give the Jets the dominant offensive line they've been seeking for seemingly a decade. One last note, and this is what scares me. I thought long and hard about giving the Jets Ole Miss quarterback Jaxson Dart here. While I went in a different direction, I believe he is in play with this pick. Let me quickly hit on the actual selection of Armin Menbu. I would have no problem if the Jets did this ultimately, while I do prefer them to go weapon. Because to me, yes, you could solidify your offensive line, and Menbu is certainly deserving of being picked at number 7. I just feel like if you can't find a right tackle that is just not an absolute liability, like what type of scouting staff do the Jets have? What type of GM is Darren Muji? Like, I understand investing in your O-line. They've done that. They've invested high first-round picks in left tackle, center, and guard. Center was a high second-round pick, but guard was a first-round pick. Offensive tackle was a top 11 pick. I just don't believe you need to have, 5 all-pros on your offensive line. You should be able to scheme around having a quote-unquote weaker link at right tackle when your quarterback is as mobile as any in the league in Justin Fields. They need weapons. They're one Garrett Wilson injury away from being absolutely screwed right now, folks. Allen Lazard's not going to be on this team, and if he is, you want him to be the number 2? Tyler Johnson, you're going to tell me he's going to take this massive step forward as a number 2 receiver? And then you could say, well, Jake, they'll just get the receiver in the second round. I mean, I'm sorry. I know this regime deserves a chance, but the Jets' history at drafting skill players in the second round and on day 2 and 3 is horrific. Malachi Corley, Denzel Mims, Elijah Moore, Stephen Hill, Devin Smith. Like, I could keep going. My whole life, they can never nail any day 2 or day 3 wide receivers or tight end. Jason Morrow. Like, we could do this the entire show just naming busts the Jets have drafted that catch footballs after the first round. To me, they need a weapon. And I'm glad McShay wrote about Warren. I would pick Warren right now. I would. The more I watch Tyler Warren on tape, the more I think, you know what? Given what this offense wants to be, given Fields' limitations at being like a multi-read quarterback that could step up and process, give me the tight end that could be the insurance policy over the middle, who's a yak machine, and in the ground game is a beast. Where's number 44 for John Riggins? Because his dad said, that's how you want to play. That's how you want to run. So that's what I would do right now. What I think the Jets are going to do, though, I think they're going to take Armin Membu. I do. Because basically everything I have preferred the Jets to do this offseason, they have done the opposite. So I am fully expecting Armin Membu to be the pick. And I'm not going to criticize them for that. I understand it. I just feel like we're putting a lot of faith in Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji to find receiving help in this draft. And the history of the Jets tells me they're not going to be able to do it. And that's not fair to this new regime, but that's how I feel as a fan. And don't deny it. You out there feel the same way. You just won't admit it. But Jake, how could you say that? I know you're deep down, you know exactly how this works. You know. So just get ready for it. And look, Membu could be awesome. He probably will be a very good player. He's a safe pick. What I don't want them to do is take a defensive lineman at this point. The more I think about it, and I like Mason Graham, I can't justify taking a defensive lineman at 7 if Membu and Tyler Warren are both on the board. Now, once again, I'd love to trade out of 7 and get extra picks because I don't think Fields is the long-term answer. I've said that from the beginning. I think it's about a 25% chance he's this team's long-term answer at quarterback. It's better than all the other options. So I'm, satisfied with the Field signing. This is not me criticizing that. It's just being realistic about what he is. But he was the best option that was out there. So they signed him. No issue with that. But let's be real. He's probably not the guy long-term. So if that's the case, I'd rather get some extra picks in 2026 in case I do have to go out there and trade up to get my quarterback. If Aaron Glenn's this great coach, okay, awesome. He's this great coach, and this team's going to overachieve and win a bunch of games. Maybe they go 9-8, sneak into the playoffs. Who knows? Like what Buffalo did with Tyrod Taylor. And then you know what they needed to do? Trade up and get their quarterback because they knew while Tyrod was competent, he wasn't a franchise QB. So they traded up and got Josh Allen coming off a playoff season. Kansas City with Andy Reid did the same thing. They were going to the playoffs with Alex Smith, but Andy Reid knew deep down he was not going to win a championship with Smith. He traded up to get Patrick Mahomes. The Texans did the same thing when they were going to the playoffs at 9-7, winning an awful AFC South. You know what they needed to do? They traded up to get Deshaun Watson. You look at the best teams in the league, a lot of the quarterbacks that they have were not acquired with their original picks. They moved around to get them. So, to me, if you're not going to take Warren, you're not going to take Membu, I still think trading out, if there's the right opportunity to do so, would make sense. Now, in McShay's mock, if you look at it, and you can't look at it unless you pay $4 for it, so I will spill the beans. In McShay's mock, he has Tyler Warren going at number 9. Would the Saints maybe trade up for Warren because they think the Jets might take Tyler Warren? Could you get the Saints to flip you a pick to move back a couple spots? Could that be an option for you? And you look at the quarterbacks here in this mock draft. McShay has quarterback at 1, Cam Ward, quarterback at 2, Shedeur Sanders. And then later on in the draft, he has Jaxson Dart going in the first round, but he doesn't have Dart going until the very end. Trying to find where specifically he has it. But my point in saying all this is essentially weapon, O-lineman, trade back. I can't justify Mason Graham at 7 right now. It's tough for me to do that. He's a need, but it's a really good defensive tackle class, and I'm more confident in the Jets being able to find that than I am a weapon. They don't have a history of ever finding weapons on day 2. And right now, with the way the Jets have positioned themselves, they need to come away with 3 starters with their first 3 picks, essentially. I suppose there's a scenario where, hey, one of these 4th or 5th round guys they select could become starters for you, but chances are pick 109 and 146 aren't starters for you. 73's got to be a starter for you. It's 20 spots higher than we all originally thought it was going to be. 42 needs to be a starter for you. 7 not only needs to be a starter for you, needs to be a guy that's an impact player. It's a top 7 pick in the draft. I like Mason Graham, but the Jets have signed a lot of defensive linemen, and I'm going to bet on Aaron Glenn as a defensive coach and Steve Wilkes, a seasoned defensive coordinator, that he should be able to go out there and turn this defense around that still has a lot of talent on it. The Jets defense was bad this year, but they should not have been as bad as they were, even with Joe Douglas dismantling the strength of the team, which was the defensive line. You have Jermaine coming back. You still have McDonald. You still have Quinnen. You brought back Sherwood. You still have Quincy. You still have Sauce. You still have Michael Carter. That should be enough to not be a dog crap defense, especially if your plan is to run the football, ground and pound. And we saw this with Rex at its best. You keep the other team's offense off the field when you do that. So, to me, the option at 7 is weapon, O-line, or trade out. You want to tell me they want to take a receiver there? I like Matthew Golden the more I watch him. Tet, I see the appeal with his size. If his speed doesn't concern you, fine. But Muji's got to get this right because they are putting so much faith in the draft based on how they've operated in free agency by shopping at the dollar store that they better be right. Now, let me get to what concerns me. If this franchise takes Jaxson Dart, I am going to shoot myself in the face at our draft party. And I hate saying it, but that is the only option at that point. If they take Jaxson Dart at 7, we are an unserious franchise, which we probably already are, but I'm willing to give this new regime a chance. Let them prove their incompetence, as Kyle Clifton said, before we say they're incompetent. They take Jaxson Dart at 7, they are incompetent. This kid has not played more than 30 snaps under center. You cannot take him at number 7 when you have this many needs on the team. And everyone's saying it's a bad quarterback class, and now all of a sudden, we got to take him at 7? Really? It always concerns me when guys rocket up draft boards when there's no actual football being played. No, thank you. I don't want them to take a quarterback at all in the first round. But if you're going to do it, the earliest you could do it is pick 42. And even then, that feels a bit of extreme. You cannot take Dart. You can't. I don't care if he ends up being great. I'm not risking it. The Jets cannot make that pick. You can't give Justin Fields $30 million guaranteed and take Jaxson Dart. But here's the thing. It's one thing when Samini is saying, the Jets like Dart. There's some buzz there. We know Rick Spielman was high on him previously in some comments he made before he started working for the Jets full time. But when Todd McShay says it, a guy who's done the draft for ESPN and been around the NFL for 25 years, has sources all around the league, when he's putting it out there that he thinks Dart's in play for the Jets, that scares the crap out of me. They cannot take Dart in the top 7. Can't do it. The only scenario where you could take Dart in the first round is if you somehow trade out of 7 and you got a haul and then you ended up with Dart. I guess you could justify it. Like, look, they got picks. They believe in the guy. But I can't even then feel good about it. They cannot take Dart at 7. Let's hope it's a giant smokescreen. Let people think Dart's in play at 7. And if there's a team that actually likes Dart, then great. Let someone else get him. And I hate to dunk on Jaxson Dart. I don't want a guy who, to me, feels like a project in the top 7. Like what we're saying about Dart, we weren't saying about any of these quarterbacks that were projected to go in the top 10 last year. None of those guys were, they needed to sit and learn, and they need to go out there and learn how to play the position from under center. I don't want to take a guy at 7 that needs to learn how to play the position from under center for a year. And the Jets are going to be basically pressured into playing him before he's ready. And Fields is a guy who has dealt with injuries in his career. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm good. As far as the rest of McShay's mock here. Number 1, Cam Ward. to the Titans. Shador, 2 to the Browns. I believe that's actually going to happen. I think it ends up being quarterback 1 and 2 because I think Cleveland has no choice. Giants take Travis Hunter at 3. New England takes Abdul Carter at 4. Jacksonville will take Graham at 5. So Graham wasn't even consideration here in the scenario I laid out. 6 is the Raiders with Ashton Genty. Everyone keeps calling Ashton Genty to the Raiders as like the most trendy mock pick. I do wonder, though, what if the Raiders listen to offers because teams think, hey, the Jets are going to take Membu and a team desperately needs a low lineman. So they want to get in front of the Jets. They make a deal with the Raiders. Or a team really wants Tyler Warren. They think the Jets are going to take Warren. So they make a deal with the Raiders to come up. I think the Raiders are a possible trade team. And then, look, I mean, I guess the Raiders could take Genty. You kind of hope they do if you're the Jets because I don't think Genty, even though he might be a top 5 player in this class, I don't think he's in play for the Jets when you have Breece Hall on a contract year and you drafted 2 other running backs last year that flashed. So I don't think Genty's in play for the Jets. And then at 7, the Jets went Membu. At 8, Jalen Walker went. Warren went 9 to the Saints. Bears took Omarion Hampton, which is the second running back in the top 10, which surprised me. Niners took Barron, the corner from Texas. Cowboys took Golden, the receiver, at 12. Dolphins took Campbell at 13, which is amazing he fell that far. He was mocked in the top 5 by everyone until people were like, oh, his arms are tiny. Colston Loveland, the second tight end off the board at 14. Mike Green, the edge from Marshall at 15 to Atlanta. Cardinals take Jahad Campbell, the linebacker, at 16. Michael Williams to the Bengals at 17. Nick Emanawari, the DB, goes to Seattle at 18. Giants trade back into round 1 to get Jaxson Dart. Let them do that. Denver at 20. Travion Henderson, so 3 running backs in round 1 from McShay. Steelers, Derek Hampton, interior defensive lineman. Chargers 22. Donovan Izuriku from Boston College. Packers take Will Johnson from Michigan at 23. Vikings take Malachi Starks from Georgia at 24. Texans get their offensive tackle to replace Tunsil. They take Calvin Banks from Texas at 25. Rams take Maxwell Harrison from Kentucky at 26. Ravens take Tet McMillan at 27. So now you have McShay and Jeremiah both having Tet slide all the way down in the first round. I think McShay has him at 27, and Jeremiah in his latest mock had him at 22. Matthew Golden has been the top receiver off the board in a lot of mocks recently, which is why if the Jets are going to go receiver, I'd prefer them to trade out of 7. See, Warren's worth the top 7 pick. There's real debate if Tet or any other receiver is deserving of top 7. Lions take Shamir Stewart from A&M, the edge, at 28. Commies take Thomas, the corner from Florida State. Bills take Kenneth Grant, the DT from Michigan. Chiefs take Gray Zabel, the guard from North Dakota State. And then the Eagles take James Pierce Jr., the edge from Tennessee. Bonus pick, Bucks at 34 take Trey Amos, corner from Ole Miss. Pick 34. Bucks first pick. I mean, it's going to be interesting what they do. Just better not be Jaxson Dart. All right, before we get to ASMANIAC Madness, I want to remind everyone that we're doing another ASMANIAC raffle this week. Signed Darrelle Revis helmet. Signed Rex Ryan helmet. Signed Bart Scott jersey. Signed Santonio Holmes helmet are the top prizes that we're giving away in our 2010 Jets-themed ASMANIAC raffle. So gift a membership to be a part of it. $20 super chat will get you 5. $50 super chat will get you 10. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Join the Patreon if you haven't. If you sign up for the year, you automatically get 10 raffle entries in the ASMANIAC raffle, and you get all the other bonus perks that come with Patreon, bonus shows, private access to our Discord channel, your name in the intro, and a whole lot more. 20% off all merch items. So please check it out, patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Michael Gonzalez with a super chat. Hey, Jake, torn between Warren and Membu. It's tough to go wrong with either. Membu, to me, feels like this quote-unquote safer pick. Warren would be the pick I would make. I think it's going to end up being Membu when push comes to shove. T-Town Jet is the first to get the membership. He is in the ASMANIAC raffle for one.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, T-Town Jet. I would love to tell you who got his membership, but YouTube is glitching. Let's find out. Dun, dun, dun. T-Town Jet, your raffle entry went to possibly someone watching, but I don't know. Damn it. If you got a membership from T-Town, thank them. It went to GTA IV, man. There we go. All right. Let's set the scene now for ASMANIAC Madness. A spot in the Sweet 16 is on the line. Yesterday, we watched the big fella defeat JJ to earn his spot. Today, we have a matchup of two legends representing the 4.5 female demographic is the great Aurora, and she'll take on the number 3 seed, our king, King Loski. Great matchup. Two OGs who have been around the show for a long time. The winner moves on to the Sweet 16. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how this works. Your vote determines who advances. Jim Nance, take it away.
It's time for ASMANIAC Madness. Who will cut the nets down as the top ASMANIAC for 2025? Some of you don't even care, but we do. Let's get to it.
Vote, vote, vote for your chance to send either King Loski or Aurora to the Sweet 16. The Chicken Soup Region round of 32 will be completed today. Our afternoon show will feature Mike D's Nuts, the 7 seed, going up against one of the hottest 15 seeds we've ever seen. One Punch Brigga. Dave Brigga in action this afternoon. And then we'll be on to the Hood region with Cheats Fan and We the People starting things off tomorrow morning. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. C writes in with a super chat. I keep thinking back to your conversation with Leger Douzable at the Combine. I wonder if we see extensions for Sauce plus Garrett Wilson post April 7th after OTAs start. I mean, it's possible that both Glenn and Muji maybe want to sit down with Sauce and Garrett when OTAs start. Maybe get a feel for how they are as players at practice and leadership before they do anything. I guess that's possible. I mean, at this point, I think it's fair to wonder if any extension is going to get done before the draft. I mean, the window to get Sauce done was before Stingley. Now that Stingley happened, I'm not counting on any Sauce extension happening anytime soon. I know Sauce's camp, I've heard, is very eager to get something done. I think the Jets are open to it. I just don't know if they feel the rush now. That's kind of my sense. Ladies and gentlemen, Thunderlip says, Jake, your shirt looks great. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Thunderlips. He sent me this shirt. Thunderlips, first off, thank you for your service. Shout out to everyone in the armed forces, everyone in the Navy. Thunderlips, you're the man. I appreciate it. I told you I'd rock it on the show. Shout out to all the troops. This is a sweet shirt, though. Really is awesome. So thank you again, Thunderlips. And I appreciate the note that you and your son sent as well. I'll read it on the air at some point. It was very funny. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Jason in Jerusalem is first up on the Gusbuster hotline today. What's up, Jason?
Hey, Jake. Long time no speak. How you doing?
I'm good, Jason. What's going on?
Not much. First of all this talk about, that you've mentioned, I haven't caught up with you yet about, like you just mentioned, why didn't you sign Sauce straight away? I'm wondering if the fact that you have to wait till June 1st to clear up the cap for from Rodgers' release is what's delaying the Sauce signing.
Well, they had the money to do it.
Room.
They had the cap room. His cap hit in year one wouldn't be significant.
It's not like you're moving money from now later on, aren't you? You're adding money, aren't you?
Correct.
Or you're just adding years.
Right. Well, you're adding years to his current contract. You're not ripping up the current deal.
So this year, an extension for Sauce would mean that his cap hit remains the same.
An extension
this year?
Yeah, that unless they completely rip up the contract and do something else. But very rarely do you do a contract with someone and then their cap hit is bloated in year one. It's spread out over several years with a big signing bonus to lower it.
Right. I was just wondering if they're just waiting for the, to clear up more of the cap before they're doing that.
I think they're waiting to meet with Sauce in person at OTAs. I think the person who said that was spot on.
Okay. I mean, you can understand, have Glenn see him in the pads and stuff before you start working, towards a contract. Anyway, all this talk about Jaxson Dart, it's reminding me how there's always a quarterback who gets hyped up. You don't see it on the film, and all of a sudden he's going to be the new first rounder, and they end up going in round 2 or 3. And we had this with, I'm just looking at the list from the years past. Will Levis, was a second rounder that everybody thought would end up being in the first. We had it with Malik Willis was another example of that. Desmond Ritter, even Matt Castle, they were talking about possibly sneaking into the first. We're going to see, a few years back and saying, who on earth put Jaxson Dart in the first round?
Well, it better not be the Jets. It better not be the Jets.
Yeah, it like every year there's someone that, the teams want to get up. They want to get the fifth-year option on him. So, teams overdraft quarterbacks. It's not the same. We're not in the same era of Christian Ponder and Jace Glockler falling into the first round for some God knows reason, and EJ Manuel because there's nobody else. I think teams are evaluating quarterbacks differently than they used to in the last 5-10 years. You talk about,
there's such a demand at the position that you see guys get overdrafted constantly. I just hope the Jets aren't dumb enough to take a project at number 7 when they have this many needs.
But we haven't really seen that in the last 2-3 years. That's my point. Who was really overdrafted in the last 2-3 years at the quarterback position?
People thought Bo Nix, to be fair, was probably overdrafted, but great coaching. Sean Payton obviously did a great job with him.
Well, the proof's in the pudding that wasn't. But like I said, we don't have the Ponders and the Locklers and the EJ Manuels really anymore. Mac Jones was a first-round pick. Everybody knew it. Trey Lance was just a ridiculous idea of taking a guy with 5 college starts in Division II.
Jason, if there's a way for the Jets to screw it up, they might, so don't let them. That's what I'm hoping.
Oh, I have full faith in the Jets constantly screwing it up. We'll draft the wrong tight end.
Yeah, I mean, look, but if they take Warren and he's not great, that's a lot easier to get up from if you're a new regime than you take Jaxson Dart and he sucks. You're gonna get fired ultimately if he busts.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Eric Mangini wasn't fired because of Vernon Golston. Vernon Golston was going to be a top 10 pick that year. He was just god awful, but he wasn't misdrafted.
Vernon Golston, I mean, he was a workout warrior. Remember, he had the great combine. That was the thing with Golston.
Yeah, so was JPP, but he turned into a stud.
Yeah, I mean, it's ultimately drafting is still an inexact science. But to me, if you're the Jets and you're a first-year regime, why are you taking the ultimate boomer bust player at 7? That's my point. To me, weapon, O-lineman, trade out. Those should be the options.
I agree. Tight end or wide receiver, but I'm constantly reminding myself, everybody wanted the Jets to get a wide receiver, and instead they drafted Aaron Glenn. And that was better that year. And was it 94 where they drafted him?
Glenn was 94, yep.
And they all wanted Charles Johnson out of Colorado. He was the only first-round worthy wideout. He was basically a journeyman. And instead you got a stud. So you draft a player, you don't draft a position. So if there's a stud player that you like, but we're agreeing that Jaxson Dart is not a stud player. He's a project. And new regimes at the 7th overall, you don't draft a project. Definitely not one that's Jaxson Dart.
I agree. I do not want Jaxson Dart. My fear is they will be dumb enough to do it. It's one thing if Samini's going to say, there's buzz that the Jets are interested in Dart. Now that McShay's saying it, that scares me. Darth Crypto in the house. Long live the king. I'll tell you what, a lot of people seem to agree. King Loski dominating right now. 84-16 over Aurora. I don't even think this is a knock on Aurora. I think it's just a testament to King Loski. And I'll tell you what. We could have an epic Sweet 16 that gets set later today. If Dave Briga defeats Mike D's Nuts, Loski versus Briga in the Sweet 16 for a spot in the Elite 8, now that's a matchup. Darth Crypto has gifted a channel membership. Crypto, thank you very much. Crypto's membership went to Taps Any Button, who I believe won the signed Sack Exchange helmet last week. When I was in Houston, we did that as Maniac Raffle. Taps Any Button won the... no, it was the Sack Exchange white jersey that Taps Any Button won. So congrats, Taps. You're now a member again. Big fellow with a super chat. Jake, I'd like to make an announcement. I have joined forces with the Johnny Boy campaign. It will take an army to overcome the juggernaut, Charles. He's the 1 seed for a reason, big fella. He's the 1 seed for a reason. Chris writes in, Jake, thanks for setting up the NCAA Survivor poll. Chris, I'm glad you're enjoying, man. Thanks to everyone who signed up for that. Cincy Matt with a $10 super chat. I know the tight end is the sexy pick, but I would go with the offensive tackle. Watching Philly bully the line of scrimmage on either side of the ball was unreal. If New York can dominate the trenches, it opens up what Fields could do. Look, I get that. They have, I think, a decent offensive line, though. It's not like the Jets have no protection at all. They have invested in the O-line. I get it. And if they drafted Membu, you can't say, oh, what are they doing? Like, it makes sense. I just think they need more of a weapon. You could dominate the trenches. At some point, you're going to need to throw the football. You have no one that could separate or get open, or there's an injury, God forbid, to Garrett Wilson. You're in trouble. So you got to take that into consideration as well. John B. writes in, Briga going to win it all. He could. Or King Loski could take him out. Or Mike D's Nuts could upset him today. It's kind of funny saying upset Briga. Because Briga feels like the favorite, but it is not. Take Briga as the top seed. He's a 15th seed on a magical run. Mike D's Nuts is the 7. Rich writes in, hit the like button. He's right. Joe Boom says, Jets waiting for the cap to rise again and get all their money back. I mean, the cap opens or increases every year. So that strategy doesn't make any sense. I do think the Jets are waiting post-draft to maybe add a weapon because there's no comp picks attached to players after the draft. But so are a lot of other teams. Are they going to choose the Jets over teams that are contending? Probably not. So that's the concern. Briga State Community Services writes in, vote for achievement and honor with a side order of pain. Vote Briga. If you believe in achievement, vote Dave Briga. That should be his campaign slogan. Beastbreaker has weighed in. Mike will crash and burn against Briga, hands down, lights out. Cincy Matt says there is still good wide receiver free agents out there and still good weapons in the later rounds. The Jets never draft good weapons in the later rounds. Ever. I'll tell you what, I'll be sold on Darren Muji being a good GM if he hits on a second-round wide receiver. When was the last time the Jets took a receiver in the second round that didn't suck? What round was Lavernius Coles drafted? I think he might have been a third-round pick or fourth. I don't think he was. He second? I think he was third round out of Florida State. Shout out to Ricky NY. Third round. Yep, 78th overall. What was the last time the Jets hit on a second-round wide receiver? Someone tell me in the chat. None come to mind off the top of my head. JoJo says the Jets are awful getting the extensions done early. They are. Someone wrote in Denzel Mims. Yeah, okay. Is your name Green Bean? Let's get some more calls, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Neil is on the line, and he will start us off. Hello, Neil.
Jake, how are you?
What's going on?
Well, another dashed hope for my St. John's having a championship. There's another. You could check mark that. We're back to the Jets again, back for the Super Bowl. You know,
it really is disappointing. Like, and that's the problem.
Going back and back and back. You know, it's horrible. It really is. It's disappointment after disappointment. I look at these Ranger fans. I mean, every year it's the same shit. They think they're going to be great. Then they fall off. Now we got the Mets and Yankees. We took your hope away with Soto. I don't know what he's going to do for us.
You didn't take my hope away, but you know what took my hope away? The Yankees having catastrophic injuries before a game's been played.
Well, I mean, having Cole out for the season, he's definitely done.
done. Stanton's out till who knows. I mean,
It's-
Heel is
it's-
hurt. Yeah.
It's a shit show. Now, again, I told you I'm not a draft guy. However, I do listen to some draft prognosticators. This morning, there was a very interesting guy on Paul Green's show, Professor Draft Nuts or some shit. You ever hear this guy?
Why do I feel like his name is not Professor Draft Nuts?
Well, he's some professor, got some. The guy, let's put it this way. He's dedicated. He made a couple of very good points about, he did a mock draft with Paul, okay? And he made a very good point about the tight end, Jake. And I want to discuss that with you. I know you're hot on the tight end. He said that Brock Bowers was a generational tight end. And it turned out with his, he beat Ditka receiving record last year, which was like a 60-year-old record. Okay. So we could say whatever we want about him. He had a lot of empty yards and all this other shit. But the reality is he was a really, really good pick when you look at it overall. Would you agree?
Yes.
This guy believes that Warren is really good, but not generationally good. Okay. So, and the other point he made is when you're in the draft, you want to look for guys that are at key positions that are $20+ million signings when it comes payday, right? And when you look at $20+ million signings, you look to the trenches, cornerback, and wide receiver are the three biggest areas of where you have to pay when it comes time to pay, right, Jake?
Typically you do, but this draft is not great at some of those spots that the Jets need right now.
Right. But I think we can make a case,
And by the way, receiver has now become a premium position in the NFL. Jamar Chase is making $40 million a year.
Right. I mean, and look at the cornerbacks, 30 million, 25 million. I mean, the numbers are astronomical. I know we've been talked about of trading and getting Goddard, right? Goddard, to me, would fill a void. He had 800 yards one year. He's considered one of the top tight ends in the NFL. I think his contract's like $15 million for this year, something like that. I don't know if we could rework it. Probably make it cap friendly. What do you think about Goddard, Jake?
I would be very in on Dallas Goddard for a year. Yeah, it depends on the cost. I'd trade one of my 4th round picks for him in a second.
So you give a 4th round pick. Now you got Dallas Goddard. Now we go for the offensive lineman because let's face it, the trenches is where we really have to be strong. And I know we have 4 good guys, but what always happens to us? We always have 2 or 3 injuries on the offensive line. Jake.
They could take Membu, Neil, but then you gotta hit on your 2nd and 3rd round picks at skill position spots. And I have very little faith in the Jets doing it, but if that to me is what I think they're going to ultimately do. I think they're going to take Membu at 7.
Yeah, because you got to strengthen the trenches here. I definitely don't want that first guy, the defensive lineman guy. This guy in this draft guru, he says there's a lot of really good defensive linemen in this draft.
What's his name again? Professor Draft
I don't know.
Balls?
Professor Magoo. I don't know what any of these guys.
Professor Magoo. Okay.
They're all,
Yeah, but how do we know Professor Magoo is credible on the draft if we don't know him?
No, I didn't say he's credible. All I said was he made a very good point to me is when you want to draft where positions, if you hit on somebody, you get him for 4 free years instead of paying him like $25, $30 million. He makes a point there. And tight end is not, aside from this guy Brock Bowers in the last 5 years, what tight ends come out of the draft that is a superstar? Is there any?
Well, it's rare in the first round. That was the argument a year ago.
But that's why I'm saying.
I get it, but I do think the position's changing.
Pick the one.
I know. I get it. I just think, you watch Warren and the offense they want to run, the bare minimum, he's going to help you run the football and be a safety valve check down option. Like at the bare minimum, he's doing that.
Agreed. But this guy Membo's a road grader, and we really do. If we have 5 now young offensive linemen and have some depth, Membu could really be a just as big, if not a bigger factor in the run than the tight end. You know what I mean, Jake? Kid looks like a grader. He's 330. run blocks like hell, and you can plug and play him now. And now we're set on the offensive line for the next 5 years. I think that's a pretty easy one.
Yeah, but everyone brings up the Lions, and it's like, oh, well, they took Penei Sewell. Yeah, but they drafted Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th round. Like, if the Jets could get that guy at 72, that version of that player, yeah, take Membu. I'm in. But, like, I don't know. It's just I just
the problem is
there's
the problem, Jake, here is there's no wide receiver that is like last year's draft class. There's no
trade out of 7.
That's the problem.
Trade out of 7 if you can.
Right. The logical thing would be for us to do if it was last year would definitely be take a receiver. This year, you really can't say. Besides this guy Ted, everybody else looks kind of like they're all in the same boat, more or less. So we could always take
Ted's not even as highly thought of as he once was because they don't think he's fast enough. Matthew Golden now is the trendy name to go first.
Exactly. And the bottom line is we need a speed receiver more than we need a guy that's a possession receiver, according to some people. I think we need a possession guy. But, somebody wants to compliment Garrett. It's better to have a guy to blow the top off and use Garrett for the short and intermediate routes. But from that perspective, you could take a speedster, take a shot on a wide receiver in 2 or 3, and then get a nice defensive, lineman or to complement the offensive line. I think we got to stick with the trenches because, look, Detroit, Philadelphia is really making a case that the offensive line and defensive line are really where you want to be strong to win. I mean, that's essential. And our trenches have sucked. Our offensive line got a little better last year. Our defensive line went down. Can we get it to where we beef up the D line, beef up the O line in this draft, take a couple of the free agents that are left, like this guy Goddard, bring in a guy like the Keenan Allen, and let's go with that and beef up the line. What do you think? I think it's the safe way to go.
Who do you have in ASMANIAC Madness, Neil?
Well, my boy King is going to win that. Put that whole region up. Loski's going to smoke everybody here. Loski's going to the Final Four.
Even Briga.
Oh, Briga has no chance against Loski. I like Briga, but he's a one-puncher. He's done. He got one punch in, and he knocked out Beastbreaker, but he's not, he's not a consistent caller. He's got the best song I ever saw. And if he
that's gonna help him. That's big.
Well, listen, hey, look, one song doesn't make a year. Understand something.
Hold on, but this is just like the actual March Madness. All it takes is to get hot at the right time. Briga's hot, and Neil, you got to remember, it's not just the song; it's also the fact he went toe to toe with Gary over the moon landing several times.
Right, but look, Gary is formidable. Go back to that one again. Just go back to that one. Go back here. Like I said, Loski and Gorman. Loski's going to smoke Gorman. I know you give Gorman like a half hour. He should have his own show. He gets like a half hour a day. I mean, every single
That's rich
day.
Coming from you. How long is this call, bitch?
Oh, come on. I get 10 minutes and you knock me off. In the meantime, this guy's on for 45 minutes a shot every day. But forget about that.
He's the one seed, Neil. This is how it works.
I get Loski and that one. Go to the next one. I'm going to give you my predictions.
This is your region.
I don't like to talk about my region because then it sounds, Leany is going to give me a battle. But I think, and David T, I got a tough out here. But I will tell you something. Castro will take Chiefs fan down, no question in my mind. Castro, because Chiefs fan with this closing role every single day, he's going to work. All we did for 6 months is he's going to work 12 hours in 1 week. I work 12 hours a day. I'm 63 years old. 12 hours in a week at Denny's. Are you kidding me? That's what we're talking about for a week? Getting him a job for 12 hours? Briga knows. That Briga's working in. I'm coming for you, Neil. I know, Leany. I get you. Leany, what do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to say? I have nothing to say about myself. But I do believe Castro will take down that. Now
what about the Butter region? Do you think Jay Quest can upset Bobby Midnight?
Jesus, it's going to be Bobby and You know, Ricky New York is really, really good. You know, I love when Ricky New York gets Beast Breaker on and he goes like this. He can't stand Beast Breaker. He goes every time Beast Breaker goes, all right, Jake? He hates Beast Breaker because Ricky is a sophisticated Jet fan. He knows the stuff. Look, the guys that are real Jet fans that we know the team and follow the team, we know these other guys, they're not Jet fan. Casey, Jet fan, you know, Gorman is very educated about the Jets, but I think he likes the Patriots more. And then you have, who's the other one in the top seed?
You got the one seeds are
no, look, Mikey is going to beat his brother because I love Bobby, okay? But Mikey is a Jet fan. Right, Jake? I mean, if you're looking at the two guys, who's a bigger Jet fan, you got to go with Mikey, right?
Well, that is if Jay Quest doesn't beat Bobby or Ricky doesn't beat Mikey. I mean, and then the train region, you got Lane Train, Rick Kent, you got Clifton and Jay Graves, Chef Kev and Bonesy. I mean, V-Man in that region and Doug. It's great.
Listen, V-Man and V-Man. Lane is going to be tough. Lane is the one seed that I say has the best shot of going into the Final Four. Lane is going to be the toughest guy to take down because he's a consistent caller. He offers dramatic takes that are just earth-shattering. You know, he's Lane. You know, Lane is really a tough one to take down. Go back to that one more second. Bonesy and V-Man. No offense. I love Chef Kevin. Doug on the couch, I think, snuck through. V-Man, Bonesy is going to be a big battle. And Kyle Clifton and Lane, that's going to be the final. Those are the four. Do you see that same as I see it or no?
I don't know how to see it.
You don't really want to offer your opinion. What do you say?
No, I'll offer my opinion. I could see Jay Graves beating Kyle Clifton. I think that's a 50-50 matchup right there. They're both consistent, great Jet fan callers.
Jay Graves put me in the hole.
She did.
How can
it'd be tough for you to vote for her after
that. She put me in a hole for no good reason, in my opinion. I mean, I didn't look her straight in the eye. I don't know. Listen. I'm the nicest person to meet in person. I mean, I never met anybody. I was nice to everybody when I met him at T Squared.
Well, she's coming. She's coming to the draft party, so the two of you will have a chance.
No. Listen,
to rekindle the friendship.
The draft party. I don't know if I'll be at the draft party.
What? Come on.
I'm gonna be chasing somebody around. I'll be live from Cancun, Punta Cana again. I'll be chasing around the next jet that's going to be on vacation. Titman was last year. I'm going to find a new jet this year.
You're away during the draft party?
Yeah, I'm away. I'm going to Punta Cana. I'm sorry.
That's sad.
And I'm not even. Look, I'd love to go. I can't. I'm going to be. That's it. And I have my 40th wedding anniversary that weekend. Also, 40 years.
Poor Michelle.
That shows how could a woman not? How can I not be nice to a woman if I'm married 40 years? Think about it.
You're loyal. I take a lot of Jet fan.
My loyalty is my fault. I am as loyal as it possibly could be, and that's why I'm married 40 years because I'm a loyal guy. But thank you so much for your time today, Jake.
Did you get enough time, Neil? Are you satisfied?
Oh, stop. I'm not belly aching about the time. It's not me. It's all the other, like I said, every time I'm flipping on, it's Gary, it's Bobby. Bobby Midnight is great. Bobby entertains. I can't say anything bad about anybody because I'm going to make enemies if I say anything bad about anybody. But I just say, I just had a comment, Chiefs fan is always injured. He's always this. He's got more ailments than a 65-year-old. I mean, what's he going to do when he's our age, when he's my age or Brigger's age or Peter Castro? We're out there slugging away, and this guy's talking about his arm that he has to get surgery on it or something.
I'll tell you what, Neil, no one can move quite like you. And no one can thrust quite like Neil. I think that guy. I know, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Gusbuster hotline link is pinned. Devin with a super chat that cuts the line. Steve Smith Jr. did a great breakdown of receivers. Leany for the win. I like Steve Smith Jr. Last year, he did this great breakdown of Malachi Corley, and he stunk. So, maybe that's more of the Jets coaching. I don't know how to use Corley. That's certainly possible, but I'll watch it. I'm not as confident in Steve Smith's breakdowns after the Corley one. That was his number one guy last year. Loved him, and he stunk. Maybe he's good. Maybe it was all the Jets. I don't know. We'll see. Leany for the win. Look, Leany's going to give Neil a battle. Leany can win. Leany's beloved. It depends on what you're using for your criteria when you vote. If you want entertainment in your calls, Neil's going to give you a little bit of everything entertainment-wise. If you want just a genuine sweetheart, an OG Jet fan, loyal no matter what, Leany is your choice. That's what makes it fun. It's up to you to decide what you want to vote for, what reasons behind your vote. The 6 versus 3, round of 32, Hood region. Get ready. Leon writes in, if Briga wins this whole thing, you should dress up in Western gear with a cowboy hat, Spurs, the whole 9 yards. He really should. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Want to know what else is awesome? This right here. My new Ridge wallet. Brand new sponsor I want to tell you guys about. Ridge. They are awesome. All right. They have you'll see it on the screen here, sleek design wallet. All right. You don't want the George Costanza wallet. A Ridge wallet is sleek, easy to fit, the essentials in. License, cards, debit, credit cards. Super easy. They have over 50 different colors. I got mine in the blue here. You see all the different ones on the screen. And what I like about it is if you're going to like a wedding like I was a couple of weeks ago, you don't want to carry like your big wallet in your tuxedo or your suit or you work outdoors and you still want to have stuff on you, but you don't want to have a big wallet. Ridge is perfect because, once again, it is sleek. It fits everywhere. It's not going to cause you back problems like some of your guys' wallets do when you sit on it. You ever see Steve Asman sit on his wallet? I have my whole life. He needs one of these. I'm going to send my dad a Ridge wallet right now to celebrate Ridge's 1-year anniversary. They're doing a special if you use my promo code. You'll get up to 40% off your Ridge wallet when you use promo code ASMAN at checkout. So, if you need a new wallet, you're looking for something cool, support our brand new sponsor here with Ridge. They also have the key holder here that you can purchase as well that I highly recommend as well. So, perfect for a lot of you who work outdoors or just want another option to the traditional wallet. I really recommend it. I've been using Ridge now for the last several weeks since they sent me it, and there was no better example than when I used the Ridge wallet at that wedding I was the best man at. The Buick wedding several weeks back. So check it out, and no matter what you pick, Ridge has free shipping, 99-day risk-free free trial, and a lifetime warranty on all of their products. So head to ridge.com. Promo code ASMAN will get you up to 40% off for their 1-year anniversary sale. The info's in the description, and it will be the pinned comment down below. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. I've seen Neil holding up his what? Is that a Ridge wallet?
Yep.
There it is. Neil, how about that?
Yeah.
Love it, Neil. Love it.
I love this. I'm going to tell you something. Great wallet. You can see it can hold your money. You have one side holds the money, and then you open this up, and you have all your, cards and stuff in there. It fits nicely in your pocket. You never lose it. You got to get one of these wallets. It's the best wallet I ever had. Right here.
Hey, love that. So
Okay.
Neil could attest to everything I said being true there in the live spot.
Absolutely. Without a fact, without it. How much is the Ridge wallet? How much is this? I forgot. I didn't know what I paid for it. I don't remember.
They have a bunch of different price points, but you'll save. Use my code, Neil, if you want another color, 40% off.
But listen, you have to get the one with the money. See that clip on the one side? It's got the money clip on it, so you could take your money and your cards and everything else, and you just stick it in your right. You have one, Jake. You put it in your pocket, and it goes nice and deep. You don't have to worry about it. And again, definitely your dad will like that gift, but it's hard to, get wallets out of people's back pockets. But this is great for the front pocket. Great for the front pocket.
Love it.
And I never have a wallet in my back pocket.
I love it.
So Use promo code Jake. I'll give a Beast Breaker
Asman.
advertisement.
Promo code Asman. Thank you, Neil. That's awesome. I appreciate it. I saw Neil just holding up. I'm like, does he have a Ridge wallet in his hand? He did. So, Neil, I appreciate it. All right. Bo C is the first to gift a big time amount of memberships. A 10 spot. Ladies and gentlemen, these are from Bo C. We thank him for his contributions.
Show me the money. Show me the money! Money.
There you go.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Cisco Lopez, Chris Bradygan, Ocho Nueve, Gangrene Catscales, Pete G, Barbarossa, DeAndre Vega, Danette Randall, Benny Baboon, Braden NZL, all receiving channel memberships there from Bo. Bo, thank you very much. If we get 10 more memberships, I will share what the 5th prize is in our 2010 Jets ASMANIAC raffle. Dixon with a super chat. I've carried the same Ridge wallet for 4 years. Hey, there you go. I'm telling you, Dixon. I mean, you can speak to it. Really cool wallet. John B says, if you like pounding some wine, vote for Leany. I mean, we've seen Leany come on this show drunk as a skunk after a depressing Jet loss. That's going to help Leany. Ladies and gentlemen, Bo C doing all the work. Another 10 spot of channel memberships.
Money.
All right, I will reveal what the prize is. Our 5th prize momentarily. But first, let me read the names here from the Bo C. BP York, Jared B, Salem, Sean Weedle, Weeble Deeble Gary, Adriano's World, Allen is a douchebag, Matthew C, Idaho Jets, Sal Pizzuto, Jose Sanchez, and Z Breathe, all receiving channel memberships. Bo, you are the man. Bo, did I see you wrote in that your helmet arrived that you won? I appreciate it. All right. Who's ready for a 5th prize in this week's ASMANIAC raffle? A signed Antonio Cromartie helmet that says Go Jets on it, which is pretty cool. Friend of the show, Antonio Cromartie. So, to recap, Cromartie mini helmet, Holmes helmet, Bart Scott signed jersey, Rex Ryan signed helmet, Darrelle Revis signed helmet. Our top 5 prizes in this week's ASMANIAC raffle. If you want in, gift a channel membership to be a part of it. If you send in a $20 super chat, that will get you 5. 50 will get you 10. We prefer you to gift so other people could benefit, but if you're watching from the phone and you can't gift, I understand. So another way to get you in. All right, let's get to more calls, shall we? Kyle Clifton is on the line. What's up, Kyle?
What's going on, Jake?
Kyle?
So, I think that going back is great, but we have to have a plan if we're going to go back. Like you were talking before about New Orleans. If we have Membu and Warren and maybe another player that we like on the board and we're comfortable going back to 9, go back to 9. If we're comfortable going back to the mid-teens because we think we can get Golden or another player and amass more picks, that's great. If we think we can go all the way back to 26 because the Rams want to come up and get Dart, for instance, right? Then, and that's an extreme example, but then we're going to get the picks that we need because the strength of this draft is between 28 and say 90, right? That's where, you get guys that are, lunch pail guys that can be starters for you. The blue chippers, there's two of them, right? The quarterbacks, there might be none of them. People like Cam Ward as consensus number 1 guy increasingly. But I think opinions are going to vary on guys like Shador and Dart. So I think that Muji should be opportunistic about moving back and getting these top 100 picks to kind of fill in the spots so that we are ready to hit the ground running next year if Fields pans out, or we can get, or we can go back into the draft and get our quarterback for going forward.
I agree with that. I just always say it's always easier said than done when it comes to actually executing a trade on draft night.
1,000%. In other news, I did get my draft party invite.
Yes, I meant to shout you out,
RSVP.
Kyle. I got it right before the show started. I saw you got a ticket.
Yeah, and all that means is I have the ability to go if I want to now, because with these kids and making sure they're taken care of. I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually make it, but at the very least, I'll be able to pass it on to one of the other callers. I got to get out there and press the flesh, because I can't have Lane being like an afterthought that he's going to win this region. Like this I got to start going to some events and making my presence known, because I think that Jay Graves and I have a chance to take Lane down in our region. The you can never forget, he's given us some great draft feedback with Knoble and some other players, but we can't forget he also gave us Clyde Midia, and some of us have been burned by Clyde Midia. So let's see if we can get Lane on a one-on-one, call him out on some of his bad picks, and let's see what the chat and the callers have to say about it.
Wow. Kyle, strong point. I'll say this. I actually was just told by the venue that if Kyle Clifton doesn't come to the draft party, there is no draft party. So no pressure, but about 300 people are counting on you.
No pressure. I'll be there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Kyle Clifton. Good call. Actually not a super chat. Devin gifted a membership. Devin, you're on the raffle for one. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. Let's get to more of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I see him there in his palatial estate. Looks a lot like Kyle Clifton's living room. Jet Set Go is on the line. Hello, Jet Set Go.
Hey, man, how you doing?
What's up, Jet Set Go?
Sorry, I went to the Knicks game, but I didn't get a chance to talk to you. I didn't meet you at the pregame. I know you guys
were you in our section?
Yeah, I was right behind Snowball.
Why didn't you say anything?
Man, I don't know. I was just kind of leaving you be. You seem like you're having a great time, and it's too fun. I didn't want to yell.
Yeah, you should have said hello. You were right. I was looking right there the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was just all of us were Asmaniacs or just some of us. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna make it weird. But
you went to this meetup and you didn't say anything.
No. I don't know, man. I just dropped the ball on it. But
you had 2 tickets too, right? You were with a friend.
Yeah. I had a friend with me, and we were watching the Knicks, and we ended up bailing early. He wanted to go. He's got 3 kids, so he had things to do. But
so you didn't even come on the court with us after the game for the photo.
He wanted to leave after the third. The man's got kids, so I'm not going to hold him up. But
wow, I can't believe you were there and you said nothing, Jet Set Go.
So I am calling in because Snowball told me that I should call in, and I wanted to at least represent that. I've been watching the show for about 3 years now. I had a lot of fun, even if it's just watching the game. I wanted to at least say hello, and I dropped the ball on that, so I apologize. But
hey, it's all good, man. I'm glad you had fun at the game, though.
Yeah, and I appreciate you, like reaching out on Discord or Patreon, wherever I'm commenting or something. I'm not usually in the Discord chat, but I do know that at least you're responsive. So I just want to say to anyone that's like still kind of hesitating, waiting to sign up, it's definitely worth it. I listen to Patreon on the subway home. Jake will respond to you, and there's not many commenters as far as the audio goes, but somebody will comment or somebody will respond. But the Discord's where it's at. It's always popping off. There's always a bunch of things to do. I guess I'll also hit you up on the Jet Steak. So I wanted to ask what you think of the Justin Fields signing. You know, how you feel about that. No, I'm kidding. I'm aware that you've stated that. I wanted to say that I feel like this is the year, at least for me. I get Warren's a great prospect, but I'm kind of in the camp of just take the tackle, set the line. This year, I don't think there's as much pressure to win as there will be in years going forward. And I do believe that the trenches is kind of where it's at. I get Warren also being a blocker and a weapon, and I understand completely the concerns of not having a weapon next to Garrett, because I don't know if anyone else trusts Malachi Corley. I don't either, but I just kind of feel like if you don't have the line and you can't get Breece Hall going, then you really have nothing, and I'm afraid that it's my understanding, I'm not a huge football nut, but you run off the right side, right, generally?
You run off both. I mean, it really depends on where your strengths are.
Is it so if we don't take Membu at 7, and is it a lock that we're going to miss out if we like out of the top 15? We're not going to get him?
if they don't take him at 7. So yeah, I mean he's probably not escaping the top 12. Feels
That's
like.
what I'm gonna know. Yeah. So I also don't know. Like, I know you've had a lot of draft analysts on. I listen when I can. I bothered you to try to do a later show just because I'm always if I'm at work until 5. And I appreciate that you told me like, I listen if there's breaking news, but like I listen to you when I'm doing dinner or like I'm doing dishes. I'm checking in. Listening.
I still cannot believe you didn't at least just say, "Hey, I'm Jet Set Go." Like,
I did want to meet you. I'm gonna try to make it out to the draft party. It's just so my boy that came with me, he's my best friend, but he's a Giants fan. And he's kind of like arguing against it, but I just might force him into it anyway. So we'll try to get out there. But
hey, all fans are welcome. I mean, it's a big night for the Giants too, obviously with the 3rd pick of the draft. So we'll be all over that.
I mean, I have a feeling it'll be Dable's last year. I liked him as a head coach. I wanted him as our candidate, but I think that situation they have is like insurmountable. So let's see how it goes. I was going to tell you also. I was always curious. I know you're always repping Chipotle. Have you had Calexico?
I have not had Calexico.
Oh,
no.
okay. So I'm also on the island with you. I know you're in the city, so I'm over on the other side of the island. If you get a chance, try Calexico bowls. I like them a little bit more. I always feel like Chipotle is, I don't know, fell off when it first came out, but that's just my thing.
Really? All right. I will try it for you, Jet Set Go.
Also,
only if you come to the draft party and you say hello.
That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. I guess I got a last question because I am normally a phone listener. So if I were to Venmo you for like memberships or anything, would that count, or do you not?
Yeah, for you, absolutely. You've been a long time listener. You came to the event. Yes, 100%. We'll get you in the raffle.
All right. So I'll start gifting through Venmo because YouTube has got enough money going on, and I'd rather somebody who's actually hustling for a living, makes his money. So I'm all right with that.
I appreciate it, Jet Set Go. Well, good call. Hopefully, you can call more when you get a moment or two if you're not working.
Listen, I'll try my best. You ever do a late show, anything after 5 o'clock? I know it's hard for you and you got a life, but that's usually my sweet spot. So I'll do what I can.
You got it, Jet Set Go. Good call, man. That's wild that he was at the event and didn't say anything. And like, come to think of it, I remember messaging with him and getting his info to transfer the tickets after he purchased them from the ticket site. And he wasn't in the photo here. It actually makes sense because so to get on the court after the game, we all needed to get special wristbands from the MSG employee to go down there. They gave us 30 because we were a group of 30, but we had a couple extra ones. And I'm like, I guess they miscounted. But it makes sense. Jet Set Go wasn't there. So I had a couple of friends who happened to be at the game too, who we brought down with us. Unreal. Alan has weighed in. Why am I not surprised that Loski is rolling? The preacher who preaches nothing. Why am I not surprised that Alan has something negative to say about one of the more beloved callers of this show? Incredible. Ryan, thanks for the kind words. He wrote, "This show is the best part of my job, helps pass the time, and is crazy entertaining." Thank you, Ryan. Derek says, Ridge is great. Unfortunately, they came out with a Jets one right after I purchased mine. That's tough. Boomtown, the Clyde Media hype is spreading. It is. Clyde Media is everywhere, baby. Nick with a $5 super chat. Go get a weapon at 7. Find a right tackle round 2 or 3. Any normal team should be able to do this. How many first-round linemen are you going to pay? Think forward. It's part of it, too. That's a part of the equation as well. I agree. Comments, questions, super chats. Cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gustbuster hotline right now is one of the greats. He looks like he's ready to have a day. He's also looking like a guy that maybe could win the entire ASMANIAC Madness tournament.
Hello, I'm Mikey. I'm Bobby's little bro. Have you seen Jake Graves? She's so beautiful. I love my boy Jake, but not in a gay way. I am so happy. I'm not going to touch anything, I promise.
Mikey, no. How does this always happen to you, Mikey? Mikey.
You hear me now?
Yes. What did you touch?
You hear me?
Yes.
I didn't touch anything. Hey, Jake, I'm coming down with Bobby, I guess.
I hear you're coming to the draft party, Mikey.
Yeah, thanks to you.
I got your ticket all reserved.
Yeah, how many days are in there?
1 month, 1 month from right now.
Yeah, man. How many days we gonna be in the draft party? How many days?
The party is just the one night. It starts at 7 and it ends when the first round is over. And then we go to the strip club right after.
Are you on? You gonna see girls?
You are.
Yeah, I like
you
girls.
and Bobby and Gorman.
And Gorman, holy cow, Gorman's funny.
Yeah.
And then we should go to, we probably we could get the train back Saturday, right?
Whatever you want to do. The party's on Thursday.
Yeah, and then we could Friday we could stay in New York at least Saturday. That would be cool. I like that.
Yeah. Hey, Mikey, I have my IT guy on the line here. He hopefully can fix your connection.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. Hi, Mikey.
Hey, Bobby.
You gotta get it set up tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow 8 o'clock between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking we could get the train back Saturday so I could relax before.
All right, that's fine. We could take the train back on Saturday. That's fine.
Because for us, Thursday night's gonna be a long night, right? Then Friday we could hang out and see Bonesy at his shoe store.
Yes, Bonesy. I don't know if he works Tuesdays. I'm not sure.
Oh no, Thursday's Friday when we
on
go
Friday.
down.
Yeah, he might work on Friday. That's right.
Yeah, maybe we could help him sell shoes and make profit.
Oh yeah, we can help him sell shoes.
Definitely. Yeah, we make a profit, and then we could set to bring the money back to when the Jets play Pittsburgh on Monday night. Like that. Bonesy could hire us for
well,
that
you
day.
gotta thank Jake for something else.
Yeah,
too.
I did. I got thank him for the tickets.
Something else. One more thing you forgot to thank him for.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jake, for everything. I remember.
No. Who is he getting to the thing on Thursday
Kevin
night?
James. Yeah, Kevin James for Queens and Queens. Yeah.
Queens are queens, like queens are queens. Kings.
I meant that. He's so funny. He's a Jet fan, too. Jake,
Yes,
you know
he
that?
is. He's a Met and Jet fan, too.
Yeah, he's so funny. I like he watching the Jets on TV with his Jet stuff on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Midnight Brothers. They'll be at the draft party. Will you be? Charleston Jet Rube is next. Hello, Charleston.
Hey man, the best thing about that Bobby video is Nick's reaction at the end. Man, that's so priceless.
The funniest thing is people thought it was AI that didn't see it live. They're like,
I
"Oh,
heard
Katie's
that
getting really good
yesterday.
at this AI stuff."
I heard that yesterday. I actually was watching it live, so you kept cutting to Nick's facial reactions live, and it was the best. It was so funny. What about something a little bit crazy? You know, how about Warren at 1? You know, they say that this is a really deep tight end and offensive lineman class. So, you know, why not do something a little different? Go ahead and hopefully get a decent offensive lineman and wide receiver, maybe round 2, round 3, and then tip back again for tight ends. If we're going to be running all these 12 personnel, why not do something like what the hated Patriots did years back? When they got Gronk and Hernandez. I mean, you know, you're going to have, you know, Warren, who, I mean, obviously it's not a right tackle, but you can put him in a lot of the running plays and have him kind of help out the right tackle. And then just get two good young tight ends. I mean, I don't know. I just think it may be something a little different, you know.
I have no problem with them double dipping a tight end. I don't think they were doing like the first or the second round, but I think you could take Warren at 7, and then you could take, you know, Jackson Hawes in the 5th round, for example, or someone like that. Like that's certainly a possibility.
That's what I'm thinking, like maybe wide receiver round 2, since it's not as deep and it's supposed to be such a deep offensive line and tight end class. Why not go, you know, offensive line in the 3rd and then tight end in the 4th or 5th? I don't know. I'm all for trying with this Justin Fields thing and trying to have one of the top running games in the league and all that, but we also still need weapons. And if it's a real deep tight end class, if we can get two guys that can at least be average blockers, that can catch the ball, I just think that would I think that would help a lot, because Justin Fields, if you use them right with the run pass option and you have two potential, halfway decent receiving tight ends on the field with them in that scenario, I mean, that's going to be hard for anybody to cover.
That's how they have to play it. They want to be successful because they have some talent on the O-line. They have Brees. They have a running quarterback. Like, add some good tight ends, especially if it's Warren, who could do a lot for you beyond just being a good blocker. And if you're coached well, you could have a functional offense.
Yeah, and maybe just try to get some project speed guy on the outside because, as much as, the tape says Justin Fields doesn't read defenses that good. I mean, what was that, 23 that DJ Moore had like 1,300 freaking yards? That should open, if we get real good at the running game and real good at using those two tight ends, that should definitely open up things for Garrett Wilson. And then, just get some kind of speed guy late somewhere, and I know we were talking to Rondell Moore, maybe somebody like that, or maybe him, whatever.
He signed already. He's
he did. He did.
He's not an option. I think he's signed with the Vikings. But yeah, I mean, they need more help at receiver badly. Like it's
Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields has a cannon. It's just that, he's not the best at reading defenses so far. Hopefully that changes. But I mean, if we did have some kind of weapon, it seems like forever since we've had somebody that can just blitz down the sidelines at breakneck speed. I mean, what, Robbie Anderson? But I mean, he was never even, I mean, he was good. I mean, he did have 2 or 3 good years here, but, since him, we've had nobody. And even, before him, it had been a long time since we had somebody like that. Like, let's try to do things different, Like, I'm all for Aaron Glenn. And last time I called was a few months back before they hired him, and I wanted to get a young offensive mind like a Josh McCown. But now that we're going this route, I don't know. Let's just let's go all in on the style that they want to do. Let's try something different. And yeah. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents, man. I appreciate talking with you and go Jets.
Great call. Appreciate it. Call back more, Charleston. You're a very good caller. More calls right now. Let's say hi to Eric. Hello, Eric.
Hey, Jake. I'm just calling to give my opinion about the draft. I think, like most people, if they took Graham or Warren or Membu, I'd be pretty okay with it. But I know your team weapon. I actually would lean Graham a little bit if he's available. I don't think he will be, but I think he's the best player that's available at the most important position that we need.
So I tackle is more important than a weapon or an offensive lineman.
I think it could be. Offensive line's obviously very important, and if there was like a weapon, like a Jamar Chase or a great receiver available that we could pick at 7, I would lean that way. But tight end's kind of sketchy for me. But I think, as Jets fans, we haven't seen a lot to be excited of it. So we want that weapon. We want something that we could watch and, look at it and say, hey, that's great. But I think Graham would lead to more wins long term. He would be a more important foundational building block to get like a new coach and, a new team ready. Because like you said, there's only like 25% chance that Justin Fields is going to be a long-term solution for us. I think it's more important to have a foundation than get, a sexy target for, he's going to be great. If we pick him, I'll be happy. But I don't know how great it would be over like a real blue chip player.
You can't argue with Graham's talent, and there's a reason why he's consistently getting mocked like at pick 5 to the Jaguars, right? So
yeah, that's probably where it could go.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be there. If they took him, it'd be tough to say like, what are they doing? Like, it's still a need. I just think I'm more confident in them being able to find a defensive tackle on day 2 to play next to Quinnen than I am them being able to draft a competent weapon or a right tackle that could start. So that's kind of why I lean the way I do. But this regime is not going to be like, oh, well, the Jets have sucked at drafting guys in the 2nd round at receiver, so we can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to think that way. So wouldn't shock me if they went Graham at all. I think they ultimately take Membu because I don't think Graham's going to be there. So I do wonder, though, if Membu and Graham are both on the board, who would they take?
I would lean Graham, like I said, but I would take Warren over Membu just because, like one of the previous callers said, if you got all these high first round picks on the line, you're gonna have to pay them all, or you're gonna end up, having to let one of them walk for nothing. Or you can find linemen in the later rounds. Every single team besides us does it. But I think you could also find a tight end. But I think if you have the best player at the best position, you take him. If not, then you go Warren and, hope that it works out and you do some 12 personnel and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. Eric, have you called before? I don't recognize you as a caller.
No, I haven't called before. I listen a lot at work at lunch. I don't often catch live calls, but I'm coming to the draft party, so I figured, hey, let me call in and try to get my face out there a little bit.
Let's go, Eric. Did you buy your ticket already?
Yeah, I already did.
Cool. You're locked in, man. I look forward to meeting you in person then. That's great.
All right. Thanks, Jake. Catch you later.
Eric, great call. Appreciate it. Come meet Eric at the draft party, baby. We've got a rising star now. I'll be in this tournament next year. My hot take after that call. My hot take is that this 14 seed is dangerous. Jets Johnny's next. What's up, Johnny?
Jake, my brother, how you doing today, my man?
What's up, Johnny? I know you're an Armed Force guy. I got my Navy shirt on, courtesy of Thunder Lips.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to the United States Marine Corps, Stack, Semper Fi, Double Dog. I just wanted to call in today because it was a great first round, and a lot of great matchups, and I see my guy Craig calling in, acting like he doesn't know who I am. So I wanted to call in and just remind him who I am. He's called in 3 times now since our matchup was set, and all 3 times he's called in, he said he doesn't know who he's going up against. So I think he's indulging a little too much on that weed with Weed the People on the Bobby Midnight Show. But he can overlook me. He cannot take me seriously. But the people know what's up. Jess Johnny's coming for everything, and we're not backing down. That's one thing. I'm the last real underdog left in this fight. Dave Brigger's been shot up to superstardom. Everybody else is a made man, an OG, got an emoji, all this stuff. I ain't got none of that. You see all these people switching up. Craig's talking about putting Sarah on his ticket. I love the big fella, but he's talking about putting somebody else on his ticket. I don't need nobody on my ticket. I got myself, and that's all I need. So I'm going to tell you like this, Craig. This is the United States versus Australia, and we coming for you, man. Don't think that I'm taking it easy on you because you're a nice guy. You tried me 3 times now. This is my response, and we coming for that head, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jets Johnny.
Who's gonna be the best of the bunch? You get to pick the one to make the show rock.
Yeah. Jets Johnny. Wow. That's a call right there. Watch out, Craig. He makes a good point. He is one of the last underdogs, right? I mean, Brig is a 15 seed in name only at this rate. I mean, highest seed left in the hood region's Weed, who's an 8. Highest seed left in the butter region is obviously Johnny. Train region, it's Doug, who's a 10. Good points by Johnny there. Craig's in for a battle. Real battle. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We're seeking raffle memberships. We announced our 5th prize today for this week's raffle. Signed Darrell Revis helmet. Signed Rex Ryan helmet. Signed Bart Scott jersey. Signed Santonio Holmes helmet. And now a signed Antonio Cromartie helmet. Those 5 prizes will be raffled away later this week. So for your chance to win, gift. And we will get you in the ASMANIAC raffle. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Let's say hello on the Gusbuster hotline to a guy who was just mentioned by Jets Johnny. The 4 seed, fresh off a win over JJ to head to the Sweet 16. The big fella is next. What's up, big fella?
Hey man, thanks everybody for voting for me. I appreciate it. Where do you get all these cool raffles, all this cool raffle stuff, man?
A lot of negotiation with different sellers across the country on name a website I have probably bought merch from at some point in the last 6 months.
Because it's fantastic. I mean, all the stuff that you're getting is great, and it's well worth entering into the raffle. I mean, I got the ring. It was cool, and I got the Sauce jersey for my son for Christmas. So
you gotta get a frame for that. That looks sick.
Yeah. No, he wears it. He loves it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wears it. It's the one, the brown one, the one salute to service one.
Oh,
So,
that's not signed though. That one. That's just
no,
like
no,
one
no,
of the
no, no,
yeah.
no. If he wore a signed one, I'd kill him, bro.
Oh,
But
okay. I thought he was wearing like a side hustle. I was like, that's risky, man.
no. But like I said yesterday, JJ was a great competitor. Even with that Joker Gary calling in, trying to derail my election. I appreciate everyone for voting for it. It really means a lot. Now, getting to this draft stuff, right? I want Warren at 7, but if we drafted Membu and got Fannin in the 2nd, I would not be mad at that at all. I mean, I think Fannin's a damn good prospect for tight end. He catches the ball like a wide receiver, and he could add a new dimension to our team. What do you think about that?
I haven't watched enough about him to like really have a strong opinion. I guess after you bring him up, I will look into him. I didn't watch a lot of Bowling Green games during the regular season this year, but I'm looking at Dom C's breakdown on him. Senior Bowl guy, has a 3rd round grade on him. His scouting report is, let's see. Where is his scouting report? It's not. Hold on. He was a 0-star recruit in the 2022 class from McKinley High School in Canton, Ohio. He originally was a wide receiver and return man, safety in high school. He missed time his junior year with a wrist injury. He was named Player of the Year in the Federal League in Northeast England District. Also named Stark County Player of the Year. Also played baseball. Let's see. 2024. This is what Dom wrote about him. Pros has that dog in him. Fannin might not check a lot of boxes, whether that's length, size, play speed, but he plays with tremendous motor, whether that's after the catch, at the catch point, or even as a blocker, has a strong lower body, and is a competitive blocker. Ideally would be utilized as a mover blocker. Good burst creates initial separation out of the breaks. Yak ability is a plus. Explodes off his plant foot, and this is the most apparent after the catch. Alignment versatility. Won't get by as an inline 10 but you can move him around. Cons, high-hipped. Fannin plays a bit upright, whether he is inline or out or wide. This, along with the stiff hips, doesn't make him the shiftiest player despite being undersized for the position. Blocking ability might be a competitor, but his size or lack thereof does mean he can't be trusted primarily inline blocker. He's an intriguing prospect just based off that. He is Dom's 4th-rated tight end.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, and like everybody, I've only seen highlights pretty much because nobody's watching Bowling Green except for Dom. But I think that he would be an intriguing target for us if we drafted Membu. I think Justin Fields needs all the help he can get, especially when we don't have high wide receivers except for Garrett.
Yeah, they got to get weapons, man. I'm not doing the whole, but there's no, who's Fields supposed to be throwing to?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
no, sorry. I'm not listening to that. Get weapons now. It's March. There's still guys out there. Get some competent playmakers next to Garrett.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I just wanted to give a shout out to my niece. She's going to play her championship game in Wayne, New Jersey today for basketball. She's on travel team, and I just wanted to wish her good luck. So I'll show her this, and things will be great.
To the big fella's niece. What's her name?
Her name's Emma.
Emma, let's go, Emma.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to see me, I'll be in Wayne, New Jersey. So there you go.
Good luck to Emma, big fella. You're the man. Congrats on being the 2nd Asmaniac to head to the Sweet 16.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the big fella checking in. Big fella versus Gorman for a spot in the regional final, the Elite 8 of the Chicken Soup region. It's our first Sweet 16 matchup that was set. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, she was referenced earlier, and she has called in. The great Leanie in North Carolina is on the line. Hello, Leanie.
Hello, Jake. Hello, Asmaniacs. I just wanted to come on real quick. Thanks for the love that I was getting in the chat for people that said they're going to vote for me. Like I said, I'm coming after Neil. I'm coming after you. But anyway, good luck to Emma, big fella. I hope she wins. That's great. So exciting. I do miss watching my son play travel ball. But anyway, I also wanted to say about Warren, definitely want him. I would really like it. I just remember watching a few Penn State games I got here in NC, and I remember just sitting there and saying, who's that? Who is that? And Mr. Leany's like, who? I'm like, that 44. I was like, that kid is good. I was like, I want him on the Jets. Not even thinking. It's weird. Football is my favorite sport, but college, I like basketball better than football. So it's kind of weird. But so I really don't get into the drafting and players and stuff until about now, about a month. And then I kind of like, okay, who's everyone talking about? And I start looking around and had no idea that a few weeks ago, I found out, oh my gosh, that 44, that was the kid that I was saying that I wanted. So I love him. If they don't, I'm not going to be mad. Like you said, as long as they get someone who's a good player and stuff like that. But if I had my choice, I would like him. He's more than a tight end. He could throw the ball. He can block. He can catch. He can run. Wildcat like. So I just think he would make a big difference on the Jets. But we'll see what happens. And I wish I could be at the party with you guys.
Leany, we need to get you there. Who do I have to talk to get Leany in North Carolina to make it to our draft party?
Yeah. When I found out too that, and then Genergy and Jay Graves, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna miss my girls. But one day I'll get back there.
I sat next to Genergy at the Knick game on Saturday.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if like I said, I wanted to go to that, and my husband's like, "Are you crazy? We can't afford that. We're still paying for the two." So, just to win the lottery, please. But anyway, I just wanted to say thanks for the love and go Jets.
Leany, you're awesome. Great call as always. Neil's in for a fight. That's a 50-50 matchup, I think. That's 50-50 right there. More calls. This guy yesterday, called him a guy. This kid yesterday, a rising star, he called my radio show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Radio. Jack is next. Hello, Jack.
What's up, Jake? How you doing?
What's going on, Jack? Good call yesterday.
Thank you.
You sounded a little nervous. You were speaking so quick. I was the same way.
Was I actually?
You don't know when you're doing it till you listen back.
Right. Yeah. So I have a couple of questions for you, Jake. I'm not sure. I apologize if you went over this. I've just started tuning in because I'm at lunch right now in school, so I couldn't really,
give us a feel for what's lunch like in high school these days. Are you still in middle school?
I mean, no, I'm in high school. I'm a freshman. So,
okay.
I mean, it's all frozen. I think they just heat it in a microwave. So, I mean, I just had a chicken patty, so it wasn't really the best. It's something. But, I mean, sometimes it's fresh. Like, look at this. Hold on. There's a good solid quesadilla bar here that I guess, you can get. But, I mean, I decided to get the chicken patty because the chicken patty is it's a staple in school lunches. I mean, you can't go wrong with a nice chicken patty in school. But anyway, I want to ask you something. Would you, and I apologize if you've already went over this. I just started tuning in. Would you be open to drafting maybe two tight ends, like such as Warren, maybe Aurora, or later in the middle of the draft, maybe just to add depth to this roster?
Yeah, actually, it's funny. We someone else made that point. We talked about like Jackson Hawes like on day 3 as an option there. 100%. I mean, look, you got to get creative with the offense they're trying to run. Like if you're truly going to be a ground and pound run first, then you got to completely revamp the tight end room. And it's a deep tight end draft, so play to your strengths. You should be able to run the ball well. You have 2 4th-round picks. If you took a second tight end there, if you took Warren at 7, that to me logically that makes sense. And that's the type of team you're trying to be this year.
I agree. I like the move as well. My personal standpoint, if Gerald Everett's still a free agent, right? If I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right. I don't know if he's got a lot left in the tank. I mean, he's better than the current options.
I mean, my top 2 choices before because I don't like seeing Walker as a tight end too. I just don't think he's really proved a lot in this league to again, a lot of the coaching could be the issue as well. I feel like maybe he wasn't utilized well, but based off of what I've seen, I don't think he was used like well enough to count him as a tight end too. That's why I would like maybe to add two more, whether that be signing a free agent in free agency, whether Gerald Everett or and drafting Warren, or that whether that be two tight ends. So I just wanted to get your take on that. I would like to do that. I'm leaning more towards maybe Warren and Arroyo, maybe. I don't know, something about Arroyo. I just like him. I just like his athleticism a lot, and I wouldn't be mad if the Jets did that in the draft.
Yeah, I like him too. If you watch Cam Ward's tape, Royals all over it.
Mhm.
So I'm with you. Good call, Jack. Now, what's on the docket at school today? When does lunch end, and what period are we in high school right now?
So lunch ends in 6 minutes, right? And then I have a lab today in science, which is the absolute worst thing in the world. Like it's
Ugh.
basically that means like I have it for instead. Usually my periods are really like 50 minutes, I would say, on a normal day. But today for a science lab, it's 2.5 hours of science, and I'm not, and I
Ugh.
do, yeah, it's gonna be awful. And then after that, I have to go to football lifting, for an hour and a half, and then I do my live show tonight, 5:30. So that's the agenda today.
Let's go, baby. Jack, keep killing it, man. All right.
Thank you. Of course.
Jack Talks Jets checking in live from high school, live from lunch. Science lab is brutal. I'm sorry. Terrible. Sorry to any science teachers that watch the show. I apologize, but the worst. That math, the only subject I actually was decent at was history. That was it. I hate math. I hate English. I hated science. The worst. So bad. History, I was the only thing I actually cared about. I was good at that. Everything else was like, ugh. And I would say to all of my teachers, how's it working out? All right? I don't need the Pythagorean theorem to tell you why the Jets stink. Sean writes in, thanks for the membership, Bo. And props to Jake for pronouncing my last name correctly. Sean, glad you got one. And big shout out to Bo. He's always coming through for the people. Brian writes in, science lab joy is 100% dependent on your partner. Yeah, I mean, if you get a good partner that knows what they're doing, great, because I never did. John says science and math are goated. No, they're not. Stop it. Duncan writes in, Jake excelled in recess and lunch. No doubt. I was great in gym class, too. JD writes in, Gary doesn't like history. He just invents his own history. There's a difference. Imagine Gary in a history class. They're learning about the Civil War. That's actually the War of Northern Aggression. God, Gary was probably an insufferable student. Boomtown, I just saw your comment. I beat you to it. I fired off this joke before I saw it, for the record. But great minds think. ISU, I assume Jake excelled in speech class. I don't think we ever had a specific speech class. I was usually, like when you do a group project, this applied in college, I was typically the spokesperson for the group project, which makes sense. Connor Long writes in, everyone, for real though, history is 1,000% the best class. Are you in school too, Connor? What period is it for you? Dixon says, Jake, you said you were good at history. What's your take on the War of Northern Aggression? My take is whatever Gary says on that, it's the opposite. Beastbreaker writes in, history, I liked, even lunch. You know, let's check in with Beast right now. Let's find out what school was like back in the day for the Beast. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to unleash the Beast.
Breaker 666. He's the man who would kick your ass, and then he'd gobble-goo.
Good morning, America, and how are we doing this morning? Yeehaw!
Beast, how are you?
In the words of the great Beavis, I am the great Cornholio. I need TP for my bunghole. Yeah, bunghole. What are you saying, Beavis? I need the TV. Give me the TV. Oh, wait, dumbass. What a dumbass. Now let's put that to the side. Beavis and Butthead can wait for a couple minutes. My favorite was history class. History classes was fun. You can learn a lot of great things about the Civil War, World War I and II, even the Cold War, and all this other crazy stuff. See, and to one thing I'm going to say to Gary, where's your achievement? Brigger's going to tell you that. Where's your achievement? Come on, man. What's wrong with your achievement? Don't you achieve at anything? I achieve at a lot of things. Like PE was another one of my favorite classes. You could throw football, play basketball, get to meet new people. Lunch? Do you remember, hey, Jake, do you remember in high school whenever you used to get those lunches, those square pizzas that you get on the table when when it comes lunchtime, or a cheeseburger? Did you ever get that?
Oh, sure.
I'll tell you, the best one I ever got was the sausage. Sausage pizza was actually not that bad, but they could have did a little better on the sauce. That's okay. But let's put that to the side. Now it's round 2. Round 3. Yes, Neil was correct about one thing and one thing only. We need weapons, and the best way to go get those weapons is you spend $11.50 billion on talent instead of this mushy talent. No more mashed potatoes and marshmallows. We want beef, chicken, and manpower. That's what we need. We need manpower, and I'm talking manpower with tanks and men with steel. And Neil, you are right about one thing. We do need to get our heads out of our ass, or if not, let's send Dave Brigger in. He could scare half those men with his temper, and I know his temper. That's the way he'll scare people, because he is mean and he is bloodthirsty. That's why I am going to be voting 2028. Vote for Brigger, next president of the USA, and I'll be his spokesman. And if anyone's got a problem with that, take it up with his department. And if you don't like it, then I got 2 words for you: bite me.
Hey, Beast. Speaking of Brigger, he wants to know what you're doing for work.
To Mr. Brigger, I've been through a lot of things in my life. I've been a wrestling announcer for 8 years. I've worked for 3 companies. I couldn't put up. It was good while it lasted, but the stress, the humiliation, and then putting up with people that know the goddamn business, it was just like saying, you know what? I don't need this shit. I can't work with people that are not professional. I can't do that. It's like working with circus animals. No. Too much on the plate. I don't need all the stress on the back. And especially when you get older, like in your 60s, 70s, or your 80s, you're going to feel a lot of pain. And yeah, it's going to take time to heal. See, time heals the wounds in life. But when you have the right products, just make sure you want to take good care of yourself. Oh, and first of all, I don't like John Cena, Jack Talks Jets. I can't stand that guy. I'm an old school WWF guy. Always will be until the day I die in my casket. I'm going to say that one time. And when I go, all the stuff that I have here, all this that I have here, I don't know who I'm going to give it to, but somewhere down the road, maybe 50, 60, 70 years from now, it's going to be worth something. But hey, I'm going to tell you this to the New York boys. Get your draft picks correct. Get your heads out of your asses. Stop wasting time. Spend that $11.50 billion and get your heads out of the toilet, or me and Brigger are going to come down there and we're going to tell you bastards, do your damn job, or we're going to do it for you. We don't care what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear. This is the way the world works. You either do your job or you can get fired. You pick right now. Pick it right now.
Hey,
It's
Beast.
either
Big
do your
fella
job
says
or
that
get
he learned
fired.
history from Iron Maiden.
I've listened to Iron Maiden for many, many years. I mean, I listened to them when I was 15, and since then I got most of their albums on disc and all the other weird bands that I find from all over the world. I mean, I go from Sweden to Finland to Denmark to Iceland to England to Scotland, Finland, Wales, Germany, also known as the Deutschland, Japan, even Mexico, Brazil, Canada, America, the world. It's called
Beast, what do you think of the real people of Japan?
The real people of Japan have respect. Who do you think gave us PlayStation? Who do you think gave us Nintendo? Who do you think gave us Honda, Mazda, Nissan, and Toyota? Who do you think gave us that? Japan did. Wrestling. They've given New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling. They bring it here to America to show us that they can, they want us to look like them and be tougher and smarter and wiser. Sure, we don't have what we used to have because we've dumbed down to mush, bad mashed potatoes or some of Bobby's, bad green body odor where you go, it stinks. You, come on, Jake. Hey, I like your quote that it stinks. Go, I tell everybody this right now. New York, do your job. Or if you don't, me and Brigger are coming, and we're coming. We mean it. Do your job, or if you don't do it, me and Brigger will do it, and we'll bring some other boys with us too. I got June the GM. He's tough too. Same with Big Fella. He's tough too. And you know what? This 4-horseman team will show you how we're gonna spend the money.
You know what time it is? A beast breaker, 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
It's amazing how much Beast loves Brigga. They went from enemies to just friends. Yo, Holmes writes in, do your job, says the unemployed guy in the attic. Well, I asked Beast if he has a job, and he said what he said there. Nick Shine says, Brigga humbled Beast so much. They see eye to eye on a lot of things. There's a lot of mutual respect there. Philly Noodles checks in. Skip tight end for extra safety. Amazing going to a jet take after that. Skip tight end for an extra safety. Warren and Higgins, round 1 and 3. I don't know if Higgins is there in round 3, Philly. I guess he might be. Safety could be a sneaky need on day 2. All right. Reminder, we added a 5th prize to the show if you tuned in late. It's a signed Antonio Cromartie helmet to go with a signed Tone Time helmet, to go with a signed Bart Scott jersey, to go with a signed Rex Ryan helmet, to go with a signed Darrell Rivas helmet. So gift away if you want in. Peter Castro says, I need a bottle of Advil. Feel that. Mr. Robert says, Beastbreaker went from enemies to frenemies with Brigga. Yeah, good takes. All right. Let's get to more of your calls, shall we? A lot of great people are still on the line here as we're approaching the end of our show. And look, you got to give it up to King Loski. I thought Aurora would make it interesting because she's a great caller, but the chat, the people, this community, they love the King. So scoreboard update. This is a big-time blowout. I didn't think we'd see this on the round of 32. It's a testament to Loski. Loski's playing like UConn did in last year's tournament. 82-18. Loski up over Aurora. So Loski appears headed to the Sweet 16. Nick Shine is in the Asmaniac raffle. He just gifted 5 channel memberships. Hit it, Nick. Yeah. If you hear your name called, the Nick Shine. Just get to do your membership. Nick came on with us yesterday, and it was an awesome show, so listen back if you missed it. Juno Rudy, Matt from L5, Dre Correa, John Jack 85, and Daniel Yanez. Receiving memberships from Shine Time. Nick Shine. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls. A guy is on the line right now that this chat reveres. This chat respects. I would say some of you might even fear this man. We say hello right now to the king of chasing ducks, Scott, who joins us now. Hello, Scott.
Everybody, it's a pleasure to be on. Yeah. All right. Do you want? I can't see anything, so let's talk some football. I think what you're going to have to see is what I call box manipulation with Fields. So that means they're going to bring it in with, Brees in the backfield. You're going to see a lot of, I believe, I don't know, but a lot of late movement by the defense, a lot of late delayed stunts. I'd like to see, Fields under center. I think you're going to see a lot of deep bootlegs like you see with Mahomes and Josh Allen. Get him even if he runs like 10 yards back, give him time to throw. All right. You say, well, maybe he's not that good at reading the defense, or his percentage is low. That's one way to get away from the defense. Even if we're running two tight ends, that's going to widen out the defense. The defensive ends have to get wider. You always talk about an offense getting wide. Listen, I know we want weapons and so forth, but you got to take what you think the best player is, right? Whether it's a sexy pick, as they say, oh God, I can't stay in the media. Oh, fuck me. They're driving me nuts. Oh, sorry. I apologize. But if you want to go with history, the RFK files came out. That's nothing. All the drones that came out, I know what that is. I know who killed JFK, and I know why.
Really?
Let's just say technology, and let's say who was in the vehicle.
What's your take on the moon landing, Scott?
The moon landing?
Yeah. Was it real?
Yes. What they showed was they weren't sure if they were going to make it. So you see like the waving of the flag, that was kind of like in studio. But yeah, they did.
So you believe in achievement, unlike Gary?
Yeah. Well, it happened. I mean, like all the drones, that's for a reason that came out. It wasn't China, it wasn't Russia.
You ever been to the moon, Scott?
Yeah, probably mentally. But there are UFOs, that's no secret. But I think that the real reason is, listen, you look at our offense and Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall on defense, Jermaine Johnson. We have the Williams brothers sign Brees Hall. That's a lot of coin. Elijah Vera Tucker. I know he's been injured, but if we keep this team together, a quarterback down the road, you've got talent. That's not a bad place to start. You look around the league and say, hey, that's my starting group. That's not bad at all, man. Not bad at all. Sherwood as well. I think what this draft is organic growth, and to keep these guys here. Maybe they don't want to stay here. You get talent around them. These next two drafts are it, because these guys are going to come up for franchise tags and all that stuff. A second contract. They're all close. There's a lot of first round picks that we had in those years, and they're going into the fourth and fifth year. That's the key, guys. Keep these guys. Build stuff around them. Acquire talent. Get rid of dead wood. 911. I know about that too, and that's a scary stuff. But that's I do believe in offensive. Who's compromised? What defensive guy is compromised? You got to infiltrate the zone like Siafu. It's a copy, and then you got to isolate a defender. I think the defender who's compromised. I do believe that it's not all about this year, guys. It's about keeping all these players I just mentioned. You know, and the other thing too is you look at the coaches. You know, oh, I can coach them up. That doesn't mean anything. You got to talk to the pupil and be like, look, these are all the instances that are going to happen. It's all situational. The more situations you see, the more natural it is, and each position has to have an inner calmness, I do believe. You have to have a controlled fury, but that inner calmness, reading body language and seeing what the structured defense is moving to, I think that is invaluable. Just like a peripheral vision for sometimes a center or a guard. This isn't really talked about. It's just players, positions. All positions matter, guys. Kicker, punter, long snapper. It's not all, and the percentage of snaps that you get isn't what it used to be. So you got to look at mentally a star player like, hey, I haven't touched the ball in a quarter and a half. What's their mentality? That adrenaline surge is kind of sustained, and then it comes down. It really does. I mean, you're fired up for the game, but you're not getting the touches that you might have think that you had. So these are some of the things I want to talk about. I don't have much time. This is probably it for a while, but I appreciate everybody. I miss everybody. I could talk forever, but I guess time's up.
Oh, man. You're really scared of Scott.
That hair is fucking crazy.
Scott, you're the man. Good to hear from you. I thought you made some great points. Salient, if you will. It's all about manipulating the box. Box manipulation. That's a good take by Scott. Nick Shine wants to know, Scott, who does your hair? So, Scott, if you could let people know in the chat. I think Scott does it himself. Boomtown with the Scott call recap. Thank you, Boom. 1, box manipulation is key. 2, can't stand the media. 3, knows who killed RFK. 4, moon landing was real. 5, believes in achievement. 6, UFOs are real. 7, all positions matter. Great take. Also, to clarify, that last super chat was not from Nick Shine. It was from Nick Shine's missing toe. Beast, what are you holding up there? Beast? Beast? Who's that? Are you on FaceTime, Beast? 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 Beast?
We some more hot chocolate.
Beast, you there?
We to get along, Yeah.
Beast? Beast, you there?
Hello.
Who is that?
Give me a minute, boys. Give me a second here.
All right, we'll come back to you.
Sorry, but sorry, I'm right here. Don't go. Don't move out of that seat. I'm also talking to my sister-in-law because right now, let me just say this for everybody: vote Dave Briga, 2028, the next president of the USA. And if you guys don't like Dave Briga, it's called. You know what? Play that song, One Punch Briga. Let's go. Put it on.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go. One Punch Briga. Let's go. I want to hear some. He's the One Punch Briga.
He thinks that Charles and Bobby need to get a job. This cowboy hates to see Asmaniacs complain. What he call him, One Punch Briga. You need to get a job. What he call him, One Punch Briga. The beast is on his ass. Call him One Punch Briga.
show has been wild for a Monday show. Jeez. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple more calls, and then we will wrap it up. Rob is next. Hey, Rob.
Wow, the Beast has come a long way, huh?
Him and Brigger are best friends.
That's good. That's good. I mean, that shows the character of the Beast. He's a good dude. People, I think, misjudged him a little. He's a nice guy.
And one of the greats.
But I have to say, Jake, shout out to King Loski. I did vote for King. Nothing against Aurora. She's a sweetheart. And I did vote for the big fellow. Again, I also met JJ, and he was a really nice guy. He's an intelligent guy. Sometimes we don't agree with his takes, but he's a smart guy. But I was thinking, Jake, like, if we go for Warren, then the Jets should definitely go for a guy like Trapilio, the guy from Boston College, Ozzy.
Yep.
Well, how does that sound to you? Because he could be had on the second or third round. What do you think?
I like him. Ricky NY loves him. He was sending me highlights of him over the weekend. I mean, if that's their plan and they think he could be plug and play, fine. I do like the fact that Bill O'Brien's the coach there. He's an NFL coach, so he runs like a modern offense or modern NFL offense there. So maybe he could be a plug and play guy. Yeah, I'm interested. That's definitely an avenue they can go down.
Because if we're fortunate to get a guy like Warren, because I think it would be fortunate because he's like having another blocker there. I mean, you saw the tapes on him. The guy, his motor doesn't stop. He's like bashing people into the end zone and stuff, which is really impressive. And then you add a guy like Ozzy, and if he's trainable like that, like immediately, or we can get him to start right tackle and stuff, then you have the RPOs that the Jets can run and stuff with Justin Fields, and things would look a little bit more promising. I still think they have a lot more holes to fill, but it would be a way of going in the right direction, is what I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. They got to they got to get it right. And those first three picks, I believe, need to be starters based on how they've operated the offseason so far.
They're going to need that, at least three of those, like you said, or else they're going to run into a lot of trouble and stuff. If they want to be competitive this year, then, again, at least three of those starters have to be, like, we got to hit on them big time in order to run this new type of system. And then, of course, with the new offensive coordinator, Tanner, hopefully this guy learned from Ben Johnson there, and, he can be, give us some good plays and stuff that we've never seen before, and compared to Hackett, who was just a big waste of time, which was kind of, unfortunately, Jake, Aaron Rodgers' demise was insistent on Hackett, because I don't know how the heck that guy got by all these years and stuff, even with Jacksonville and stuff. I don't know how this guy did it, because his system is so just, I don't know, backwards now. I mean, who runs the type of plays that he calls?
A question from Ryder on the Storm. Wants your thoughts on manipulating the box.
How so?
Basically what Scott was talking about in his previous call.
I missed Scott's call. I jumped on after Scott's call.
I'll tell you what. Go back, watch it, and have a take for us on manipulating the box, all right?
Manipulating the box, okay.
Rob, thank you very much. Good call from Rob from Glenhead, from Kyle Clifton's living room. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now.
Hi, Jake. I wanted to tell you, I called the hotel. The manager's in the meeting right now. So the lady, the desk lady, took a message from me, and she's going to have him call me back. So we're
Hotel
waiting.
Bobby Midnight?
Yep.
Yeah.
Another 2 hotels. Remember, I worked for Holiday Inn.
That's right.
Before, and I got her dumbass me. So, yeah, I want Warner. Warner's a great pickup. I like Warner.
Warner?
And then
Warner.
Warren, right? Warner, the tight end.
Yeah.
Warner. Yeah, that's who I want to be the Jets pick up. And then Michael's going to get his cable fixed tomorrow. His internet will be great tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come in at 8, between 8 and 10, I think. And I did like history and English. I did not like math or science. Ugh. That was the worst subjects.
Philly's Lip Noodle says Bob has an ass the size of MetLife.
Yeah, I do. Thank you, Philly. I agree with you. Thank you.
ISU wants you to give us your best housekeeping impersonation. Can you say housekeeping? You want me to fluff your pillow?
I'm not doing housekeeping. I'm working at the breakfast thing. I'm not housekeeping.
All right. How about, hey, would you like some sausage with that?
Yeah. Would you like some sausage there? I think they might have waffles too, maybe. Like they did at the hotel, Holly Inn Hotel. I can't wait. I hope he was at a meeting. I don't know what kind of meeting it was. So.
The pot stirrer says you were the original junk in the trunk.
Yes, I was. Thank you, Ted. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that.
Who do you think's better at serving sausages, you or Cheats fan?
I probably will be better. And now I'm taking Mike D's nuts over Dave Burger.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going for my friend Mike D's nuts. Let's go, Mike D's nuts. I'm in your corner.
Do you think Mike D's nuts could take down Brigga? He's been red hot.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Mike D's nuts is 100% better. He's going to take down Dave Burger. Let's go, Mike D's nuts. I'm on your side. Yes.
I love it. Strong take.
Yeah, yeah.
Peter Castro said Studio 54 is Bobby's
Oh,
home.
wait. I want to thank you, Peter Castro, for the other day, your gift. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Is Peter Castro your sugar daddy?
Well, he gives me like money on my Venmo a lot of times.
It's very nice of him.
Yes, I think it's Zelle. I think it's on that Venmo. But he's a great guy. I love Peter Castro and his wife. I talked to his wife too.
Uh-oh. We might have to rethink my Tyler Warren take. Bang Mateo for the first time ever agrees with a take of mine. Jake, you're on the beat today. Draft Warren 100%. Well, now we know that the Jets should definitely take member. Bang Mateo and I are aligned.
When does he ever agree with you?
Never. I've been doing this show for 4 years. This is the first. Mark the day, March 24th, 2025. Bang Mateo and I are aligned
at
with a take.
12:27.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I never would thought that either.
Curly's got a pickup line for you. Bobby, try this. Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like me to butter your muffin? Try saying that.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like me to butter your muffin? That's a good one. Curly Norman. That's a good one.
See, Curly's great when he's not talking about how miserable the Jets are.
I know. Well, he's just got to take a mental break from that. So he'd be fun. Any other questions, Jake, for the people out there?
I have a question for Cheats fan who's on the line. Cheats fan, do you think you would serve breakfast better than Bobby McKnight?
I think Bobby would do better.
Thank you, Cheats fan.
Because I don't like being around people's food. Like that's why, like, if I have to serve people at the Denny's job, I'm just gonna be my best because I don't want. I felt like if I was a server, I would like drop the food and then get yelled at.
That's not good.
Because sometimes I am prone to trip, like Goofy trips in the Goofy movie.
Well, I do too. I trip all the time. Clumsy me.
Like, if you guys ever watched the Goofy movie, he trips and then gets on I don't know what he does. He just ends up right next to his son, and they do the skating competition. That's how bad I trip like Goofy from the Goofy movie.
I do that too.
Good movie from the 90s.
I got some breaking news for both of you. So after we get done with ASMANIAC Madness, we're doing our first ever Dave Brigga Madness. And you guys are both in the tournament.
Nice.
If I lose, I don't give a shit.
You don't want to win Brigga Madness?
No, I don't give a shit about Brigga Madness.
The winner gets a job.
Oh, well, I'm going to get a job way before that.
Yeah, Jenky let me
That
the
another
closer
Gator
yesterday
stuff.
too.
I bet that's another Gator stuff.
I'm glad that you let me be the closer yesterday, Jake, and I can be the closer today if you need me to.
Well, you're closing right now, Cheats fan.
Oh, Pog, thank you.
Well, if you want me to leave, I leave. I just
Oh, no,
want to.
no, Bobby, you're cool. You're a homie. You're my
Oh,
homie.
you're on me too.
Yeah. Thank you. But like, I'm glad to be the closer again. Glad to get this chance again. Sorry for ruining it before, Jake.
Well, you just had your period.
I did get an update that I didn't tell you yesterday. After the 3rd was when I get a new cast on. That's when I could start working. Because I told him I've had this cast on for 2 weeks. Like, you need a brand new one for sanitation. And Nick's like, I'm cleaning toilets. What about sanitation? I'm like, well, you're going to be cleaning toilets and not busting until you get your new, if you come in before you get your new cast. So you will only be there for a few hours.
Bridges State Community Services says Bobby has many excuses and no achievements.
Hey, that's the guy who comes on my show. Yeah, thank you. I really, I like that comment. Really, thank you very much.
Kyle writes in, Bobby is always waiting for someone to call him back for a job. The person is always away or in meetings.
Oh, here's the thing.
I'm not. I just, Kyle, I just called him this morning, and that's what she said. So, thank you very much for your comment.
And I do have a backup plan if Denny's doesn't work out.
What's the backup plan?
I could always return to the dark side and work at Dollar General.
The where?
Dollar General, one of the most hated places to work at.
Dollar General?
They barely pay you.
That's
they barely
where the
give you an
Jets
offer.
shop at.
That's where the Jets are signing all their free agents from.
Yeah, basically.
I love that one. That's a good one, Gator. Dollar General. Dollar Player Store.
I'm guessing my tournament match is tomorrow, Jake.
Your tournament match, yes, you're the first one up in the Hood region, Cheats fan.
All right, so I gotta
Who
put
is he
out.
going against?
I gotta send Gators and stuff tonight. Then
Who is he going against?
He's not making campaign videos anymore because he doesn't want to influence
never mind
anything
then.
anymore. But you can send me if you email me your pitch, I could play it. Just like
can you DM me your email real fast?
You have my email.
Yeah, you have his email.
It's also in the description to every video. It's asmanjake at Gmail.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Gmail.
I mean, We the People's a good guy.
Yeah, I love him. I love him.
And the next time Rob's on, I'll try to apologize to him. Like, I was using the restroom when he was on.
Well, he was in there. He was on before.
Yeah, I apologize to him. I was using the restroom, like for a 34-year-old man. Like, I still got a bladder of an old man when it comes down to like wind chills.
Well,
and all
I
that
do
stuff.
too, but it got better.
I'm like, when you step outside and that wind hits you. Like,
I appreciate you not wiping your derriere on the show as a different number one seed did.
Oh no!
You gotta play that, Jake.
He's seen it.
Let me
He
say this real
knows.
fast.
We've all seen it.
I do not call anyone when I'm on the toilet. If someone calls me, I'm like, "Hey, I'm using the restroom. Call me back," because I don't want anyone to hear that because I think that's disrespectful.
Yeah, especially when
especially after taco night.
Yeah,
or
especially
Taco Bell.
if you make a big turd, whenever they hear that.
Well, especially after eating that Taco Bell, no one wants to hear that. Nor see
Taco
that.
Bell is fun. I don't get sick on that. I thought I would.
Well, I always go for the onions, and I shouldn't be having onions.
Why? What's wrong with onions?
Oh God, gentlemen, thank you both for the time.
Who's gonna be the best of the bunch? ASMANIAC Madness. You get to pick the ones that make the show rock. I'm the king, I'm the Jew.
What a show. What a show. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. Will Parkinson is joining us in the 4 p.m. hour today. So that will be fun. What did we learn today? It's all about manipulating the box. That's what I took away from today's show. And that was a great meeting of the minds, as Dana puts it, to end our show there. All right. More chances to get in the raffle later. I'm thinking about adding a 6th prize. What 2010 Jet would you guys be interested in getting some signed jersey, helmet, football merch items from? And I'll see if we get enough memberships, if I got room in the budget for a 6th prize in the ASMANIAC raffle. Anyway, thank you all for your support. I can't thank you enough. Please get your draft ticket. I do not want to deal with the people saying, how do I get it? The day of. Just buy it in advance. $30. You get a free drink. You get a raffle entry. If you have a group coming, reserve a table before those sell out. It's about $70 a person to reserve a table. Get a guaranteed seat. So you don't have to worry about it. And it's going to be wonderful. So, please click the link in the description and get your ticket. Again, thank you all. Shout out to Thunderlips again for the Navy shirt. God bless the USA. All the way. We're back in a few short hours. I'll talk to you then. And in honor of Dave Briga, in action today against Mike D's Nuts, I'm going to play us out the only way that one can when those two meet, by first playing this.
Bang! Thank you, Mike D's Nuts, for another gifted membership.
And then playing this.
He thinks that Gary needs more shots upside his head. This cowboy hates when you don't believe in achievement. Well, they call him One Punch Brigger. The moon landing was free. They call him One Punch Brigger. His claim is not too dirty. Call him One Punch Brigger. Hated jokes, he's fighting sides. One Punch Brigger. Comes in loading, leave down, yeah.
Also, the show is not over because I didn't end the poll, damn it. Let me officially make King Loski a winner. Loski is in to the Sweet 16. My YouTube froze, so it's not letting me stop the poll. But when it stops, it will say over 600 of you voted. And it's King Loski who is moving on. So I thought the show was over, but it's not, baby. It is not. All right. It's actually about to be over, but first, I'd be remiss if we didn't shout out a 5 spot at the literal buzzer here. 5 spot, alarms, now. Here we go, Oregon Jets, Orlando Vega, Brad McCaffrey, John Woo, John Steppick, all from Johnny, Bo, Johnny. Johnny, thank you very much. And officially, King Loski defeats Aurora here with 613 votes cast, 81-18. Is the final score I'm seeing on the screen. So congrats to our king. He is moving on to the Sweet 16. He'll face the winner of the afternoon show matchup that we just talked about, Dave Briga and Mike D's Nuts. Two greats going at it. All right, I've talked enough. We're back in the 4 p.m. hour. I will talk to you guys then. Jets, Jets, Jets.
Now there's a gas station over here. I'm gonna go get some pizza and see if they have any butter to put on it.